Easter Road. Just about ready for the off. They will play their way to a decision this evening. Falkirk and Hibernian go at it again for the right to meet Kilmarnock in the play-off final. Tuesday was frenetic. Expect more fire shoveled on top of intensity. Greg Sibbald eager there on the Falkirk left, and the concession of a very early corner.
Yeah, Hibs didn't cope with the ball in behind, did they? Sibbald was bright. A chance to load the ball in on Logan, put him under pressure. I'm sure that was an instruction from Peter Houston.
It's going to be Blair Alston to take it. Product of the Falkirk Academy, and McCracken helping the ball on its way. And it comes to Will Vaulks, not afraid to shoot from there. His goals in his repertoire. A little bit of hesitancy, but the offside flag has been raised by Brian Templeton on the near side.
And McCracken gets across the front, and a good flick, wasn't it? He scrambled the ball clear.
David McCracken, who was right at the heart of the matter 3 nights ago.
He used his head that time, didn't he?
Forward by Conrad Logan. My understanding is Hibs were never likely to replace him. Mark Oxley is on the bench again. Aaron Muirhead to take this. Former Partick Thistle defender. And a 2-year extension with Falkirk earlier this year. Sun-baked evening over the Forth Valley, and it's Paul Hanlon towards James Keatings. If you've just come in, it's Keatings in the starting 11 and not Jason Cummings. Bell couldn't locate it. Supposed by Darren McGregor. Here's Dylan McGeer. Down he goes on the artificial surface. It's one of the better artificial surfaces you'll see anywhere. For Bob McHugh, so accustomed to being the joker on the pack, the super sub. He's 5 goals all off the bench, but he's the form player. Deserves his moment in the spotlight. Now, what can Falkirk conjure here? John Baird, thwarted by Paul Hanlon.
Good position Hanlon took up. Really well worked down that left-hand side. Good interplay. And Leahy on the overlap puts the ball in. It's well defended.
Paul Hanlon in the heart of the Hibs defence. So another Blair Alston corner coming up. David McCracken lending height to the attack. For variation, it's Vaulks, high degree of difficulty on the volley there into the north stand where the Hibs fans, the 2,000 Hibs fans, are located.
Yeah, that was worked off the training ground, wasn't it? Vaulks around the back, just trying to get enough contact to get it back in.
Alan Stubbs played for Celtic when they lost to Falkirk in the 1997 Scottish Cup semi-final replay. Can the Hibs get it right this evening? Leading 2-1 in the first leg, and I think they fancied their chances of pushing on from there. So many twists and turns the other night. Conrad Logan was the hero for Hibs in the Cup semi-final recently against Dundee United. Plenty of vocal support for Hibernian. It's a Falkirk crowd. 3-to-1 ratio in terms of support for the Bairns tonight, and it's their home game. Stevenson's pass. Again is Logan, the man from Donegal in the Republic of Ireland. Hadn't played a first-team game for 16 months since his Rochdale days before being thrown in against Dundee United. And a chat with Peter Houston earlier, and he reminded me that Falkirk, and it's true, do not quit.
No, they don't. Talk about Hibs' budget being twice the size of Falkirk's, but Peter Houston feels that they can match them in terms of determination and effort and character.
Baird and Hanlon. The appeal there from John Baird. Getting very much sympathy.
Yeah, it's a good tussle. It was the other night. No quarter given.
Greg Thompson, the man in the middle on this huge occasion.
He got that one right.
Just a reminder that the away goals rule is not in operation in these playoffs. Plenty of scorelines, possible scorelines that would give us extra time this evening. Any sort of draw. There's a 5-8, back the way to Darren McGregor. 2 goals in his last 2 games. Bullet header on Tuesday night. The sun at the moment not problematic as far as either goalkeeper is concerned. McGregor, you see the shaded area inside that. His penalty area. Lewis Stevenson, longest serving player on the Hibs staff and a terrific pro. Dylan McGeoch. Has the subtlety to open up any defence. Stevenson. There's John McGinn. The Scotland call again from Gordon Strachan. Quite work out for Anthony Stokes. First came to prominence here in Scotland with Falkirk back in 2006 on loan from Arsenal then. McGinn, one bounce and fielded by Danny Rogers.
Yeah, Hibs worked the ball well out to this left-hand side. I think it takes a slight deflection across. And Rogers cleans up.
Danny Rogers on loan from Aberdeen. Has a contract with the Dons until 2018, and who knows, he might be their first choice keeper next season. That's a big decision for Derek McInnes and company. Luke Leahy would like to get forward when he can. Will Volks. Darren McGregor digging in.
Volks is the one who'll release from that central area, with Kerr just sitting in there.
Leahy and Logan. Really had to look lively there. It's going to be a corner.
That was heart-in-mouth stuff, wasn't it? Not overly convincing. I suppose you could say he got the job done.
It's improvised goalkeeping. Here's Alston. Sails over the head of Baird. Nothing for Hibs to worry about. 0-0 with 8 minutes gone.
You just wonder how he's feeling, Logan. Wasn't an easy one to deal with. He actually dealt with it pretty well in the end. Took no chances.
Mark Oxley, the reserve goalkeeper once more.
He's probably saying, I would have caught that.
Sitting alongside Jason Cummings on the Hibernian bench. I heard Stephen Craigan mention that Jason Cummings has just gone off the boil. Does have a very good scoring record here at the Falkirk Stadium, in fact against the Bairns, full stop.
What a player to bring on, though. He is a maverick type player, someone who's got that little bit different.
John McGinn showing for it. Goes Falkirk's way. 40th appearance of the season for Aaron Muirhead. Flicked on by McHugh. They score very timely goals. Equaliser on Tuesday. Don't forget about his dramatic winner against Rangers back in March. Falkirk came back from 2-0 down to win 3-2. Leahy. Now Baird. Focal point of the Falkirk attack. About to get Sibbald on the ball. Craig Sibbald and off Darren McGregor. It's another Falkirk corner in the 10th minute.
He had some real joy And this left-hand side in the first 10 minutes. Sibbald and Leahy linking up again well. Sibbald trying to put the ball in to the box for McHugh. Another corner.
Guys have come on, ye bairns. Ring around the Falkirk Stadium. And Alston with it. McCracken. Whistle is gone. McGinn just taking a bit of a knock.
I think it was McGinn who got the touch. He did well in that near post space area. Yes, it was. He was brave. Caught by McCracken. He was a big guy. And caught by two.
Joined Hibs from St Mirren last July. John McGinn signed a 4-year deal. He rejected advances from MLS in the USA. From Owen Coyle in particular. Owen Coyle in charge of the Houston Dynamo. Leahy is getting close to Keatings. David Gray. Wearing the captain's armband. Alan Stubbs' first signing as Hibs boss. Gray, Edinburgh born. Spent his earlier years on the books of Hearts and Manchester United. Just haven't really got going, Hibs, have they?
No, they haven't gone in behind once, and I thought that's why Keatings would be put in the side instead of Cummings to stretch the Falkirk back line out. But we know Hibs like to try and play. There's nothing wrong with going in behind, giving the centre-halves of Falkirk something to think about.
Leahy is trying to get out of the way. Look at the action areas. Falkirk have been trying to carry the game to their opponents.
Yeah, just kicked the bottom of Keating's boot.
Greg Thompson, who's hopeful of being given one of the high-profile international friendlies prior to Euro 2016. Willie Collum will be Scotland's refereeing representative at the Euros. Put it away by David Gray. There's Volks, much more comfortable in midfield. Centre-back, Leahy, Volks, pushing it through. And is this the moment for Blair Alston? Falkirk strike first in the second leg. Sheer joy for the Bears.
It's good interplay, isn't it? Just around the box. I think the ball ends up. I think it's more luck than judgment. And Alston just gambles, doesn't he? Gets in behind the Hibs back line and pokes it past Logan into the far corner. He does ever so well to gamble. And how big a goal could that be for Falkirk?
And his 40th start of the season. Blair Alston, Falkirk youth product. Well, he knows a thing or two about playoff goals. A couple of years ago, 118th minute winner against Queen of the South, quarter-final second leg. He's just put Falkirk on top on aggregate here. Now, what sort of response can Hibs muster? John McGinn trying to do it on his own. Mark Kerr back there to solve the problem. Experienced hand in the Falkirk midfield. This puts in a shift. Mark Kerr. Well, they are delighted.
Yeah, and what to start there. They've taken the initiative. I don't know whether it's more luck than judgment how the ball gets to Alston. Just see, he gambles. He gets in behind. I think he's level, onside. And he finishes it well. Has a good picture in his mind of where Logan is and where the far corner is.
Back with the live action, and well, it was Baird in pursuit of it. Works its way back to Logan. Luke Leahy. Here's Dylan McGeoch. now it's going to be a scrap.
Falkirk are all over them at the moment.
And the chase for Keatings. McCracken was following him.
Yeah, but it was a good run, wasn't it, from Keatings? That's what he has to do. On the shoulder, in behind McCracken, who's not the quickest. First time we've seen it. Takes a yard or two out of McCracken.
The last 4 meetings of Falkirk and Hibernian have ended drawn. There's actually 6 in all without a win for the Bairns against Hibs. Goes back to the Cup semi-final triumph last season, secured by a Craig Sibbald goal.
I think if you look at Falkirk, they've only lost once in their last 14 at home, and Hibs' away record of late, 1 win in 10, must be a worry for Alan Stubbs.
This is a true Forth Valley fortress. Five wins in 6 home games for Falkirk. Darren McGregor scored at this ground as a Rangers player last season. That takes off.
Yeah, you see, McGregor wants that movement in behind. I think Hibs should have started the game stretching Falkirk out. That's not really Anthony Stokes' game. It's not what he's in the team for.
Forward by Danny Rogers. Peter Houston trying to trap it. The Ginger God, they used to call him back in his Falkirk playing days. Had his own cheering section known as Hoosty Hardcore. 2 spells with the club as a player. Was having a chat earlier with the man who brought him to Falkirk.
Did he tell you that? Did he tell you that about that little section?
Well, I'm old enough to remember it, sadly, Chris. Falkirk in control. Winners play Kilmarnock over 2 legs. There's a plan A and a plan B in terms of the dates. The play-off final matches, depends who makes it through. This looks like the small matter of the Scottish Cup final coming up 8 days from now against Rangers. McGinn. McGeoch. Natural ball player John McGinn. Here's Fraser Finey. His career really rescued by Hibernian. Aberdeen for Wigan, but struggled to get first-team football there. One of the loan spells away from Wigan. Finey. McGeoch. Plenty of navy blue shirts behind the ball. Stokes. Flicked by Anthony Stokes. Lewis Stevenson. Now it's Dylan McGeoch releasing the ball. Stokes with that effort. There again, positioned on the 18-yard line. Towards McHugh. That's judged by Muirhead, but the whistle is gone. Frustration etched on the face of Anthony Stokes.
Yeah, Craig Thompson saying he doesn't have a choice.
Stokes,
yeah. I think Stokes gets his body in and feels a little bit hard done by, but you see there is a nudge in the backs. Muirhead, here's a yellow card.
Kicked the ball away, and that is going to be highly significant. Alan Stubbs knew it. With a yellow card, Stokes will be out for the first leg of the playoff final if Hibs make it.
It's a silly one, isn't it? Anthony Stokes, needless.
It's not as though Hibs are short of options in attack.
Yeah, but he's the one who Stubbs seems to hang his hat on.
Just 1 goal in his last 10 matches. It came against Dumbarton. A 4-0 win on the 26th of April. Parker steadies the ship. Muirhead, and claimed by Logan. "20 minutes into this semi-final second leg. Falkirk lead 1-0 on the night, 3-2 on aggregate. There's Liam Henderson. Haven't seen too much from Henderson so far. Checked by Paul Watson. On they go. And again out towards Gray. Just cushioning the ball for Fivey. John McGinn with a pot shot. Dealt with by Danny Rogers.
There's a good switch from McGinn from left to right in the first place, and it comes back into the midfield. A clean strike with that left foot. Comfortable for Rogers.
Henderson, on loan from Celtic. A loan spell at Rosenborg. Last year went on to win the Norwegian Championship. Plenty of flair players in this Hib side. They're not the paciest of teams, though, you'd have to say. And they have the guile to unlock a very well organised Falkirk defence. Taken by Leahy.
We didn't see a plan B from Hib's second half. They stuck to the plan A and dominated the second half in the first leg. I think it'll be more of the same. We'll try and wear Falkirk down with their passing game.
Alston, and Stevenson watches it. As things stand, the Play-Off Final would go ahead next Thursday, the 19th. First leg anyway, second leg on the 22nd. And the fans right behind the Bairns. Alston. There goes header away. Sibbald. Sibbald does release it. Leahy. Always positive. And he gets forward on the left. Luke Leahy. A player who's been affiliated over the years with the Gordon Strachan Football Foundation. Still plenty of time for Hibernian. It's been a sluggish sort of start by the visitors.
Yes, it has. They haven't got their game going at all. Henderson hasn't got on the ball. Did well in the second half. Leads to Road. Haven't got him in the game enough.
That's without an away win since overcoming Inverness in the Scottish Cup replay back in the middle of March. And McGregor has to get back and succeeds. The right boot of Logan.
Yeah, that's what McHugh will offer, won't he? That pace in behind. And McGregor is no slouch himself.
And Fivey felt he had done little wrong.
He just edges Baird out, doesn't he?
One of the winners of this tie face, Kilmarnock, will see Lee Clark's side tomorrow, midday, against Dundee United. BT Sport 1, Lee McCulloch, part of the Kilmarnock coaching staff in attendance. And there is Lee Clark. Alongside our presenter, Darryl Curry.
Where would he rather be?
Here's Leahy. And Logan whistled out.
I think that was timely for Logan. I'd still like to see him be more dominant. Come and collect that, knock people out of the way. He's a big lad. He's hesitant.
Much was made of his struggles at the Bob McHugh goal on Tuesday. Couldn't recall that clever. The Harry Panayotou goal for Wraith Rovers in the quarter-final first leg. He is the goalkeeper of choice. Hibs have work to do. John McGinn tangling for it with Blair Alston. Muirhead. Hanlon away. Muirhead once more for Falkirk.
Just first to everything in the middle of the park, aren't they? Winning those second balls, those knockdowns. They are again Kerr picking the ball up, the poor pass.
Uncharacteristic play from Mark Kerr. James Keatings. Has been the lucky charm those teams in the last couple of years in promotion races. Promoted with both Hamilton and Heart of Midlothian. For the Hamilton side that ultimately saw off Hibernian 2 years ago. Actually went to penalties.
What a game that was for Alex Neil. Moved on swiftly in his career. Defined his career, that game, Derek.
Absolutely. This season of the playoffs being reintroduced, 2014. Not too many people who don't feel that it's been a welcome reintroduction. Edge of the seat theatre. Fivey, Henderson, McGeer. Stevenson wants it played to him. Falkirk have organised themselves defensively. Stokes, a long way from goal. Trying to do his work from there. Kerr. Forward by Muirhead, intended for McHugh. The 53rd match of what's been a gruelling season for Hibernian. 45th game for Falkirk. Put it down by Muirhead, and now Kerr.
Yeah, once again, Kerr on that second ball.
Baird. He was a willing worker. Now McHugh, and here's the dangerous Leahy. Looks very comfortable on the ball. So ball back to Leahy. McHugh. We're asking plenty of questions of Hibernian. Falkirk here. And the Bairns with the lead on the night and overall.
Especially down that left-hand side. Leahy getting on. Muirhead down this right is more of a back support to Alston.
Well, Volks all the way through. Versatile player, Volks. Championship player of the month for April. Lee Miller just doing a bit of warming up. Got credit for the opening goal at Easter Road.
I think he should have done. I thought it was clever. A couple of other guys didn't agree with me.
I'm with you on that one, Chris. Not always the case, but that time certainly. Here is Stevenson. Just all a bit slow and static from Hibernian, is it not?
Yeah, they tried to play, but taking too many touches in the middle of the park. And then you see the likes of Baird. He's coming in to make it a 5 for Falkirk in midfield.
Stokes try to manoeuvre his way around Sybil to no avail. Volks. Craig Sibbald. Henderson. John McGinn. He's that very distinctive forward lean. More than 5 hours since Hibs scored an away goal. Stevenson. Henderson. Fivey. Again on the turn, it's Henderson. That's better from Hibbs. Keatings, down he goes, McCracken with the tackle. Penalty, says Craig Thompson. He did not hesitate.
Absolutely right. And you can tell from McCracken's reaction that it's the correct decision. Keatings gets down the side, doesn't he? Gets his body in. And McCracken commits. And that's the problem. Should stay on his feet. Once he's committed, he's made contact. What a big penalty this is. Hibs haven't deserved it. What a chance to get back into this game.
No complaints from Falkirk. James Keatings, having gone down, will now swing the sword. And Hibs are level. Slow starters tonight, but they have their goal. 1-1 this evening, 3-3 on aggregate.
And Alan Stubbs will be a happy man. They haven't deserved to get back into this game. He won't care. Really good composure, belief in what he was going to do, Keatings. And Hibs are right back in this. Just gets down the side, doesn't he? Good movement in behind. Haven't seen much of that tonight.
Houston, we have a problem. James Keatings stepping up confidently. Giving Danny Rogers no chance at all. David McCracken, I think you immediately.
Yeah, do you know what? A high pressure penalty. Really was. Good composure, wasn't it?
Falkirk free kick this time.
I suppose the only argument is whether McCracken could have been given a yellow or a red card if in behind.
There's no card of any colour for David McCracken. Taken by Mark Kerr. And McCracken up there.
I think to the letter of the law, Keatings going to get a shot off. I believe he was his last man. It should be a red card for me. He's in on goal. There's the composure. Gives Danny Rogers the eyes.
The referee's got to ask himself, was it the denial of a clear goal-scoring opportunity through that intervention?
Well, it clearly was.
Stokes. It's buoyed by that penalty goal. And the header from Keatings. Oh, it's another one! Hibs have done it again! James Keatings at the double! Good heavens!
Well, what a decision from Alan Stubbs to give Keatings the nod and the start, and this is brilliant from Keatings. The header back across the goal. The Falkirk fans see dismay on the faces. Stokes back on his right foot. No real pace on the cross, so Keatings has to generate his own power. And it's brilliant, and he heads it back across Rogers, right into the far corner. That's an outstanding header.
So much for Keatings to do. Absolutely perfect. What a turnaround here at the Falkirk Stadium.
Well, it's the only place he can score, Derek, isn't it? That position has to generate. It was unbelievable how he generated his own pace.
Alan Stubbs fully justified in his selection tonight. Keatings, remember, didn't start the first game. 1 minute and 47 seconds after the restart. Another Keatings goal. And the Falkirk players wearing punch-drunk looks. Sybold. It's away by McGregor.
So Houston must be wondering what has happened in the last 5 or so minutes. They were in total control, Falkirk.
Scant evidence that was going to occur. 2 Hibs goals have arrived, courtesy of James Keatings. Just finished saying 5 hours, and Hibs without a goal away from home. 2 in quick succession. Baird. Hanlon. Here's Henderson. And Stokes. Who supplied that ball for Keatings to head home.
It was a decent ball from Stokes, wasn't it? But it was all about the header.
Moving a bit slack there. McGinn just missed out. Stevenson. Kerr to sweep up in the Falkirk midfield. Newhead up towards McHugh. Quick reminder, coming up on Sunday, 3:15, BT Sport 1, Forest Green Rovers against Grimsby Town, Panorama National League Play-Off Final. So much at stake there. And also on Saturday, the 21st of May, Crystal Palace, Manchester United at Wembley for the Emirates FA Cup final. BT Sport 2. Get closer to the action in 4K on BT Sport Ultra HD. Alan Combe there, the Hibs goalkeeping coach, has the electronic board out, and they are going to make a change. Marvin Bartley to come on for Dylan McGeer, who has gone down.
Oh, looks like he's got a problem. Groin area.
Just hearing that they have been monitoring McGeer on the bench for 10 minutes or so.
Well, I think this is a big blow for Alan Stubbs and Hibs. He was outstanding the other night. He's the player who makes Hibs tick, isn't he? It'll be a straight swap.
So that's it for McGeer. He applauds the Hibs fans. Marvin Bartley back from injury himself.
That's just such a clever piece of movement. He pulls in behind McCracken. He's got no right to score from there. It's a brilliant looping header.
McGeer knocked off the pitch there by Kitty McKinnon. It's fizzy out now. Not much defending going on, and Keatings, McCracken getting the touch on the ball, but Falkirk at 6s and 7s.
Well, he goes in behind, doesn't he? That movement in behind. I think he's onside, but takes a poor first touch. Tries to find Anthony Stokes.
This is Hibs' first corner. Henderson putting pace on the ball. It's falling for Fraser Fidey.
Thought he was going to pull the trigger there.
Henderson. Stokes. Not a bad idea from Anthony Stokes. David Gray's header. McCracken and Leahy away. Fraser Fidey. John Baird last of all. Action-packed, just as we anticipated.
I think Falkirk are shell-shocked at the moment. I just want to get to half-time because Hibs are totally dominant.
It's a groin injury we're hearing as far as Dylan McGeer is concerned. Stevenson. And again, Henderson's in there. There's Stevenson. McGinn. Henderson. Trying to get it to dip right at the end of its flight. Corner.
Keatings again, trying to pull away from McCracken. Henderson generates good pace on the cross. McCracken gets his feet moving and deals with it.
William Henderson in charge with taking it. Gray, Hanlon, McGregor all together. 5E. And Rogers, it was always going to be his.
Falkirk switched off from the corner. Fivey going short in plenty of space. Should do better.
Well, they were so cheerful, the Falkirk fans, not so long ago. And the noise you hear coming from the Hibs fans away to our right. Falkirk looking for inspiration. McHugh. And McGregor. No difficulties encountered. 2,000 Hibs fans here. Many more wanted to attend. Capacity just over 8,000. The home side searching for answers. This was by McGinn for Hibs.
Stokes is holding his ankle, left ankle. He fell a little bit awkwardly.
Anthony Stokes, who stands to miss the first leg of the playoff final, should Hibs get there. That's right, not to contend with by the look of things.
Yeah, I think there's a plastic pitch argument, isn't it? Not real give, and you can see there, that's a sore one, that is. I would be surprised if he carries on for much longer. Anthony Stokes.
Mark Kerr protecting the ball. A bit overzealous that time, James Keatings. The Falkirk players know they've got to keep their composure. No point getting worked up. Still a lot of football to be played this evening.
Yeah, absolutely right. Get to half-time, regroup. They started the game so well, didn't they? I have to say, Hibs barely deserved to get the equaliser, and then within a couple of minutes, they're ahead, and Falkirk are shell-shocked.
This has been a sea change. Nodded on by Henderson. There's Kerr. Sixth successive season for Falkirk in the second tier of Scottish football. That's when they went down in 2010. The final game was against Kilmarnock, and it was a old-fashioned struggle. Kilmarnock doing just enough. And here's McGinn and Keatings one more time. Just thought it might be there for James Keatings.
Fractionally too high, wasn't it? McGinn driving down this left-hand side. Keatings in a real menace.
Mark Kerr pushing on. McHugh just couldn't get there. Hanlon trying to get out of play. Haven't seen much from Bob McHugh or John Baird in the last 15 minutes or so. Leahy. Now Sibbald.
He's got to play the way he's facing there. He turned blind.
Number Darrell Curry coming away shortly. Stephen Craigan, Stuart McCall, and the Kilmarnock manager Lee Clark. Plenty for Hibernian supporters to be happy about now. It's an inauspicious start by Hibs. Confirmation, a minimum of 1 added minute at the end of the half, Chris.
And Hibs will go in happy, in front and comfortable since they've gone in front. And they won't change the way they play. They'll pass the ball second half, and it's Falkirk who will have to come up with the ideas.
Darren McGregor. How the play it goes. Bit of a chase for Luke Leahy. Falkirk really disappeared as an attacking force since the Keating's double. Watson. Muirhead. Now Baird. Hanlon. Bobbles around. Fivey certainly did his job. Now Hibernian on top, and there is the light bringer for Hibs. James Keatings scoring not once but twice.
More from Lee a little bit later on. For now, back over to Chris Sutton and Derek Ray.
Twice Falkirk have been in front in this tie as a whole. Twice Hibs have held the lead. That's the case as we speak. It's Falkirk who get the second half going, attacking the goal to our left, and towards the south end of this stadium. Opened in season 2004-2005, and Falkirk have digging to do. Here's Luke Leahy. Marvin Bartley, who came on for Dylan McGeoch, had to go off injured. Pass by Aaron Muirhead, misplaced, gobbled up by Liam Henderson, and here's Lewis Stevenson for Hibernian. Bartley is a very heavy touch. Volks and Kerr. As Falkirk trying to get onto the front foot. Leahy. Craig Sibbald turns 21 in 5 days' time. Kerr switching the point of attack. Muirhead. And Muirhead against Lewis Stevenson. Blair Alston, who got things going for Falkirk, scored the opener. Craig Thompson has spotted the foul further back.
Stevenson felt he was tugged back and breaking out. Craig Thompson's gone back.
He's got a card produced here.
Muirhead.
Muirhead having his name taken.
Just pushes Stevenson over, breaks up the attack.
Just going back to the penalty award earlier and the discussion about a possible red card, Chris. Of course, we should point out that beginning next season, actually beginning with the Euros, there'll be a slightly different interpretation. The idea is to take away the so-called triple punishment, and so for a non-serious foul, it would be a yellow card and a penalty, even though it is the denial of a clear goal-scoring chance.
And I think that's a sensible change. Just wondered what happened off the ball there with McGinn. So he's got a cut in his mouth where an arm was thrown or raised.
John McGinn gets on with it. Here's Kerr, and now Will Vaux. Little change of direction, Fivey on top of him, so too Henderson. McGinn was just behind the pair of them. Flicked by Henderson. Wanted it back from Stokes. David Gray is in space on the right. Here's Henderson. Now Gray comes into it. 3 minutes into the second half. David Gray, but to no one in particular.
There's a poor cross. Henderson. Another couple of really deft touches. Came into the game, didn't he, second half at Easter Road. Doing the same here tonight.
Fivey. Hibbs hungry for more. John McGinn takes aim. Unable to find the target.
Yeah, on his favoured left foot. Expect him to hit the target.
This was earlier, and that's what we were talking about, Chris.
Yeah, well, Muirhead has to be careful. He's just been booked. I think McGinn was the initial offender. Muirhead just trying to get his arm across McGinn, but fair play to McGinn. Didn't make a meal out of it.
Drawn matches involving these two sides in the current campaign. Hibs were victorious here at the Falkirk Stadium in October. It was a hotly disputed penalty. John McGinn, the player who went down, Falkirk felt that simply fell over the leg of Blair Alston. Sybil, and here's Vaux. McGregor covering, takes it away from Vaux. Fraser Fivey. Kraken just stepping out of his central defensive position. Vaux. In the end, back to Leahy from McHugh. Whistle and goal. Sean Baird's not having it.
Just fighting for that space, isn't he, with Stevenson? Trying to get across Stevenson. He's entitled to stand his ground. Stevenson goes down easily. Fortunate free kick.
Just wonder, Chris, at what point Peter Houston might look at changing things. He's not afraid to put on different attackers, give it a different look. He has the likes of Miles Hippolyte, Lee Miller, Kevin O'Hara on the bench.
Yep. Well, the option, changing the way he's going to players with Miller, isn't it? Being a little bit more direct. Wouldn't have thought it would be too long before he comes on. Can't wait forever to gamble.
Leahy. Started every game for Falkirk this season. The trip by Gray, looked like on Sybil.
I don't think he touched him. Pulled his leg away. We're in a good position here to see that.
The ball was going out anyway. Henderson, here's Stokes. Let's check to see where Keatings was. Anthony Stokes. Well, he's done well to force the Hibernian corner, and the fans behind that goal very much approve.
It was a well-weighted pass, wasn't it, from Henderson? Inch perfect. It's like the best Stokes could do.
Taken by Henderson. Sibbled away. Fivey. Misdirected. Once had a 10 million price tag placed on him, Fraser Fivey, in his early Aberdeen days, back when Mark McGee was the manager. He had to work hard for his football career. So making the move to Wigan. Here's Gray. Fivey has been a useful addition to this Hibs squad since joining. Sibbled, Baird. Perpetual motion. McGregor and Bartley together. Marvin Bartley has given the ball away. Volks. And here's Baird. Down he goes, but no foul. Sibbled takes over. Craig Sibbled through a thicket of legs. Big deflection. And behind it goes for the corner. And the noise now comes from the Falkirk fans.
Yeah, I think it came from the third pass Bartley's given away this second half. Really been poor in possession. It's well worked from Falkirk, isn't it? Across the box, trying to get the shot off. Eventually it comes.
The Volks effort. Deflection. And now Alston with the corner. David McCracken was up, and it was quite the leap.
Oh, how big a chance is that? McCracken gets up early. Really good spring. And you'd expect him, from 6 yards to hit the target, trying to head it back across goal into that far corner. It's a big chance.
Well, his last goal was against Hibernian on the 12th of April for Peter Houston's side. A 2-2 draw, and that's why you can't Falkirk out. They were the comeback kings that night. That's been the case on plenty of occasions this season. Anthony Stokes. Space afforded Liam Henderson for Hibernian. And it comes off Luke Leahy.
I think Henderson's a little bit fortunate. Just wondered whether that was going wide. I don't think he would have troubled Rodgers. Should go across goal. Leahy got the block in. Good from Stokes, isn't it? He's got that awareness.
Liam Henderson, whose father Nicky used to play for Falkirk, amongst other clubs. Miles Hippolyte, Lee Miller might be coming on. Henderson with it. Fivey. Sibbled has gone over there. Fraser Fivey. And it's Gray right beside the byline. Well, it's been a thoroughly enjoyable watch. Speaking as a neutral, Lee Miller scored the opening goal of this tie. Shot by Tom Taiwo. Coming off Miller. I think it was clever, experienced striking from Miller. Now Stokes. Keatings. Here's McGinn. John McGinn! Not so very far away.
That's good link up, isn't it, from Hibs again. This Keatings just pops it out to McGinn, who's always going to try and get it back on his favoured left foot. And drags it past the left-hand post of Rodgers.
So Hippolyte and Miller, I think any minute now, will be deployed by Peter Houston. Fivey, nearly the perfect pass for Anthony Stokes. Hearing that Mark Kerr and John Baird might be the two departing the scene for the Bairns. Stevenson. Henderson, and now Fivey. Stokes. Careful to open up the Falkirk defence with that flick.
They're just trying to play it round the corner. Not on the same wavelength there, Keatings.
Neither side cowed by the enormity of the occasion. Which team will progress to a two-legged meeting with Kilmarnock? Alston. Muirhead supporting him, but Alston over there. It's fallen for Craig Sibbald. Leahy there as the decoy, and that's going to go through for the goal kick.
Yeah, it was a poor cross, wasn't it, from Sibbald?
Now the Falkirk personnel changes. Mark Kerr, 34-year-old, trots off. He's joined Falkirk as a 16-year-old from Moodiesburn Boys Club, and it's Miles Hippolyte to come on. January signing from Livingston. And Lee Miller takes the place of John Baird. One striker for another. Lee Miller, who turns 33 in 5 days' time, signed a one-year extension with Falkirk only last month.
And it looks like Sibbald's gone into central midfield. Falkirk and Hippolyte out on this left-hand side. And with Lee Miller, well, you know what's coming. Hibs, how are you going to deal with it?
Paul Watson, the defender in question here.
Just gets the wrong side. Stokes uses his body well, buys the free kick.
John McGinn. A popular character in the Hibs dressing room. Now David Gray, all right across the face of goal. Leahy, how important was that from Luke Leahy?
Well, my first impression was that he saved a goal. It's a brilliant header from Gray. And certainly Stokes was there for a tap-in if it wasn't going in. Extremely timely.
Henderson with the latest corner, McCracken. Well, it was very able defending by David McCracken. Miles Hippolyte. Different sort of problem for the Hibs defenders now, but it's too long and too strong.
You just wonder if Falkirk do get back into this game, how timely that interception was from Leahy.
I'm sure everyone will remember it if they do bounce back. Falkirk currently trailing. Hibs stand to go through to meet Kilmarnock. The first leg would be on Tuesday. And a wait of 8 days for the return match. It's all ifs and maybes at the moment. Nothing decided. Stevenson. There's Bartley competing for it. Miller was in there too. Here's the long throw specialist amongst other things, Miles Hippolyte. Got a glimpse of that at Easter Road, didn't we? It will be a test for the Hibs defence here. There's the answer. Hippolyte. And Volks. It's McGregor stretching his neck muscles. And again prevents what would have been a corner. Willie Conker says Falkirk throw. Willie Conker, the assistant referee over on the far side. "60 minutes have elapsed. Hippolyte taking the throw again. Loft that time. Sibbald. Alston by his side. Miller and McHugh nearly. McGregor. Crucial. And now the whistle comes to the aid of Hibernian. McCracken. Really aggressive there with Logan flattened.
Yeah, and this is all about McGregor. Last ditch challenge. It's just a flick from Miller on the inside. And I think McGregor gets round superbly. Important touch. And Logan's watchful, isn't he? Gets a good fist. He's absolutely smashed by McCracken. What an important interception from McGregor.
Darren McGregor at that end. After Luke Leahy had been called upon at the other end of the pitch.
Well, if he didn't get it right, maybe a penalty, red card.
Off the head of Aaron Muirhead. Peter Houston has complained to the officials about what he thought was time wasting.
What with the goalkeeper? That's slightly harsh.
Well, we report, you decide, as they say.
You got absolutely smashed.
Here's Watson. It's got to go through for the goal kick.
I like the changes, though, for Falkirk. He hasn't messed about. He's been positive. Hippolyte on early, Miller on early, and go for it.
Well, Hippolyte who scored for Livingston against Hibs April of last year. Now Henderson to telegraph it to Keatings. James Keatings, and wide it goes. Anthony Stokes reaching for it.
Yeah, Henderson just overhit the pass to Keatings. Stokes gets up early. Watson just does enough to put him off.
I hope you're enjoying this wherever you're watching tonight. Delighted to have the pleasure of your company. It's well ahead now as far as goal attempts go, as far as shots on target are concerned. I think by general consensus, Hibs have the better players. And Falkirk are a formidable team. Often it does come down to how you perform as a unit. Falkirk free kick, which Aaron Muirhead will be responsible for. The Kraken sent forward. Smother had to get on that time. Clivey, an inquiry there from Falkirk.
And again, you look at the players' reactions.
McHugh went down.
Yeah, I think he just got his body in. I don't know whether there was enough contact.
So the Hippolyte throw from the left, but hang on. St Thompson has a bit of sorting out to do. Penalty claim here, Chris.
Yes, and a flick. You can see Fyvie gets the ball first.
Hippolyte all the way into the centre of the box. Muirhead scrapes it forward. McGregor takes command.
3v2.
Makers of space for Henderson. And Stokes out there in the wider position, cutting in. Alston, who took care of it for Falkirk. McGinn. Hibernian free kick.
Persistence, wasn't it, from McGinn? Didn't give up. Nicks it. Gets a little nudge in the back, maybe a little bit of a soft one.
Well, the Hibs fans providing vocal backing aplenty. Taken by Henderson, charged down by Sibbald. Alan Stubbs, as just said, no way was he back 10 yards. Talking it over with the fourth official, that's Stephen Finney tonight.
Who would be a fourth official?
Glutted for punishment, I think. And the Kraken, linchpin of the Falkirk defence.
Well, knowing Alan Stubbs, he'd moan if it was 12 yards.
I think he enjoys the back and forth just a bit. Is there a foul there? Apparently so. Down is Keatings.
Hippolyte trying to get in front of Keatings. Keatings gets the touch.
So nervy for all concerned. Playoff tension. Hanlon, a bit of grappling going on there. Watson with Paul Hanlon. This man is in charge. Greg Thompson akin to a short corner. It is a free kick taken by McGinn. Henderson. Stevenson. Henderson back to Stokes. And always off target. Keatings.
It's amazing how many times he peels away in the box.
Remember, it's Kilmarnock against Dundee United tomorrow. Midday, BT Sport 1. Final weekend in the Ladbrokes Premiership. Kilmarnock guaranteed to be in the play-off. Something of a warm-up game for Lee Clark's side. We'll be hearing from Lee, along with Stuart McCall, Stephen Craigan and Darryl Curry after the final whistle. Notice the truck in the distance there. It's the truck for two. A prize won by the lucky couple. Now, it's going to be a corner.
Yeah, great night out for you and the missus. Taking her in a truck.
Don't knock it. Here's Henderson. Over it comes from Liam Henderson. Flipped away in the nick of time by Will Vaulks.
Yeah, an important touch, wasn't it, from Vaulks? Just straining. Getting that touch. Gray behind him, waiting to pounce.
So Henderson trots over again. McGregor, Hanlon, Gray, over the line, Henderson, and fine goalkeeping. Good clutch by Danny Rogers.
Left two up top from the corner. They're gambling. Falkirk going for broke.
Now Vaulks misfires, and Logan has it. As we approach the final 20 minutes, Falkirk chasing this game.
Yeah, Peter Houston there saying calm down. They just need to get themselves composed. Maybe make passes in the midfield and create some good areas.
And this kick by McCracken. He tries to make amends. Falkirk, who finished second in the Championship, lost only 4 games, one fewer than the title winners Rangers. Stokes and Keatings offside. Well, 1 or 2 cheers, then they realised flag had gone up.
Well, that's what Stokes can do, can't he? And he's looking for the run of Keatings. It's a good run in behind. You can see he just goes early. Emphatic finish, wasn't it?
Well, Blair Alston, Falkirk goal scorer, has gone off, and there is the replacement, Scott Shepherd. 19-year-old, product of the Falkirk Academy, born in Perth. 4 goals in 5 matches this season, all as a substitute. He did have a loan spell at Brechin City. That means no role for Kevin O'Hara tonight. He can often make waves off the bench. Hippolyte and Miller already on. Bivey's pass, McGinn. Now David Gray comes into the move, and Stokes was trying to finish it off, being watched by McCracken.
Well, they rotate the midfield so well, don't they, with the diamond. There you see Gray getting on the right-hand side. timely interception from McCracken.
Henderson in position again. Fivey staying all the way back. McGregor looking to cause problems for Falkirk.
Well, they've dealt well with the corners. The Hibs corners this game, Falkirk have.
Well, they know all about the threat Hibs could pose at corner kicks. McGregor, of course, with that thumping header in the first leg at Easter Road. McGinn. And deservedly, I think, in the Scotland squad. Well, it's a figure of 7,851. It's a record attendance for this stadium. Hippolyte was bouncing into McGregor. What can Falkirk throw at Hibs in the closing stages? Sibbald. Now Leahy and Shepherd. He was claiming for possible handball, I think. Certainly no chance of that being given, and Logan watches it. Miller was trying to nod it on.
He just drifted in, Shepherd, didn't he? From the right-hand side. I think he was claiming for a handball. It hits McGinn in the back of the head.
I suppose if you don't ask, you don't get. That was highly optimistic. Stokes with a touch. Henderson. Now Fivey. Fraser Fivey. Unable to keep the shot down.
I think it's Sibbald who backs off and off. Only 22 yards out. Gets under it. Good save. Come out there.
Everyone on tenterhooks. Nobody can be absolutely sure who's going to face Kilmarnock over two legs. Free kick there, Lee Miller. That hurt, I think.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, Keatings goes down again, Volks.
Yeah, he's been absolutely battered by Lee Miller. I mean, that's a wrestling move, isn't it? That's a body slam. Watch this, bang!
Greg Thompson had a good view of it. Volks.
Like a tag team, weren't they? Volks coming in, getting him up.
James Keatings, the two-goal Hibs hero. David Gray together with Luke Leahy. Almost inside the final quarter of an hour at the Falkirk Stadium. Fivey right there with Leahy. So Fivey tried to win the corner, and it has been given.
No rush from Hibs. They've controlled the second half. If you're Falkirk, you're thinking, just one more chance, can we take it? Stay in the game.
Quite a few people checking their watches. As Henderson has to fire it across. Paul Hanlon's header, held by Rogers. And again for Henderson. Managed to keep that in play. It's Watson backpedaling, did well in the end. Leahy now, as Falkirk look to construct. Stevenson. Let's begin.
Falkirk are just forcing it for me.
The message from Alan Stubbs just then to his players: a bit more composure, please. over there on the right. Well, it's all along the ground. Bob McHugh. Ambitious.
Just Logan. Just wonder how he was feeling then. Hugh doesn't get a good strike. Pretty clean.
Stokes. Here's McGinn doing the burrowing. And 5e wasn't quite perfect for him. So made his move towards the ball. Now Henderson. Henderson's pass goes astray. Hippolyte. That's Leahy. The idea was to spring McHugh on the Hibs defence. Time is of the essence for Falkirk. Finished ahead of Hibs in the table, only on goal difference, only by 2 goals when all was said and done. Leahy spreading play out to Muirhead. Shepherd, Muirhead. And McHugh, a wonderful pass, Aaron Muirhead, trying to keep his balance. Shepherd. Gray. And to Leahy. It's a stunning goal by Luke Leahy. How about that? 2-2 on the night. 4-4 on aggregate. You just can't separate them.
You just can't split these two teams, can you? It's good interplay from Muirhead down the right-hand side, but this is absolutely stunning from Leahy. Knee over the ball, and he hits that cleanly, purely. And Logan stands absolutely no chance. Brilliant technique from Leahy. Eye on the ball, keeps over it. He hits that like a rocket.
So many predicting extra time, indeed penalties tonight. Luke Leahy with the 4th goal of the evening. What next?
Well, I said one more chance. That's not a chance, is it? It's an unbelievable strike. It really is. They might get excited in a minute.
Well, they certainly were seconds ago. I think they might be shocked themselves by what has just occurred.
Sometimes you have to hold your hands up and say there's nothing we can do about that. And it is, I said stunning, and it is stunning, isn't it? It's a pure strike.
What purity of hit. Luke Leahy. Headline grabber. Stephen Finney, the board officials been trying to calm down the Falkirk bench. Here's McGinn. And now Stokes. 10 minutes to go. Never count out Falkirk. We've said it time and again this season.
They just keep going and going and going.
Well, Jason Cummings is going to make his way on. And attendance figure just being confirmed over the PA system. Just under 8,000 here tonight. Everyone gripped by the drama. There's going to be more. Stokes. Going to go on a mazy run. Anthony Stokes!
Well, he's got that ability, hasn't he, Stokes? Always trying to shift it back on his right-hand side. I think well wide in the end.
Well, that's going to be it for Keatings. So Cummings will replace him. 2-goal contribution, you cannot argue with that. James Keatings will be a spectator for the remainder of this game. Jason Cummings, 4 goals in 3, but he has netted in each of his last 3 matches here at the Falkirk Stadium.
The 4th official is telling him to pull his socks up. It's a bit harsh, he hasn't gone on yet.
The highs and lows of the playoffs. We've seen them this week, Tuesday, and again on this Friday, the 13th. It will be unlucky for one side or other.
Miller was trying to buy a free kick.
McHugh. Muirhead. It's Bartley. To nod it away on the Volks. And now Leahy, scorer of that spectacular goal. McHugh trying to find it. Hanlon almost fell asleep and appealing. There was Sybil, most of the crowd though. Cummings. And just entered the fold. Jason Cummings, 5-8. Gray. David Gray's pass for Anthony Stokes. 5-8. So many Falkirk players back. Anthony Stokes. Running into Craig Sybil. Stokes again. And Rogers. Easy beat. This was inside the box at the other end, Chris.
Yeah, I think he makes too much of it. Goes down too easily. Not enough contact for me.
Sybil was the most demonstrative. The fans, as you can imagine, all appeal. Henderson. Here's 5-8. Defenders were backing off. Now it's Gray. Here's 5-8. Is it going to go the distance? This semi-final. Hit the light, a little bit clumsy. McGinn turning around. Leahy is halting McGinn in his tracks.
He's got great feet, hasn't he, McGinn, in those tight situations. Trying to get the cross in, and here's a real opportunity for Hibs. 2 centre-halves forward.
McGregor and Hanlon, the centre-backs up there. Will prayers be answered on this Friday night? So it's as though a hush has now descended upon the Falkirk Stadium in advance of this free kick. Plenty of toing and froing inside the box, and Craig Thompson keeping a close eye on the proceedings. Henderson with Muirhead, and again trying to place that one. And now the whistle comes to the aid of Falkirk.
Yeah, Lee Miller in that near post space, doing his job. This is the Leahy goal. It's unbelievable technique, 62 miles an hour. Hits it like a rocket and celebrates.
Might get a speeding ticket for that nearby on the A801.
You probably will.
Away by Sybil, it's forward by Gray for Hibernian. Stokes. He did well, Anthony Stokes. Well, the fire it towards goal. Watson looking to thwart him. Shuffled away in the end by McCracken. Hanlon. Here's McHugh for Falkirk. Shepherd. Now Hippolyte. Had to use his body to good effect. Swatted back by McGregor. Shouldn't forget, Chris, that let's have one more substitution available. Different story for Falkirk. Used their 3.
It'll be interesting to see what Alan Stubbs does. Will he chuck a Boyle on or a Dagnall?
Bartley's pass. Looks to sit deep in midfield. Cummings, outrageous effort! Oh, he's right on the woodwork as Rodgers looked up at it. Ever the maverick, Jason Cummings. Looked as though it might be net bound. Whether it comes again. This time it was flashing wide, but Cummings on his own. And watch Rodgers here.
You can't shoot from here. He's all of 30 yards. And that's a timely tip, isn't it? Just the top of his finger. It's a brilliant touch.
Apologies, because I believe we lost pictures just for a few seconds. We'll be with you until the end, whenever that is. Hope you didn't have any other plans on this Friday night. Stokes. Now Gray. Trying to get beyond Hippolyte. And Craig Thompson has spotted the foul. David Gray. He's taken out. As Hippolyte seeing yellow. This is exactly what happened, Chris.
Yeah, it's been a really good outlet down this right-hand side, Gray. Craig Thompson quite right.
So nerve-wracking for all concerned. Hanlon and McGregor talking it over. We're in the final minute of the 90. Liam Henderson deliberates. Henderson with it, and it bounces just wide. Hanlon it was who has tried to make the connection. McGregor in there as well.
Did he put him off? McGregor goes up and comes off to the defender. Is a corner.
Right on 90 minutes now. Liam Henderson, and it's just over the top. Anthony Stokes.
Off his shoulder. Doesn't get a clean header on the ball. I think it's head, shoulder over. Comes off the goalkeeper. Should do much better. Clips the top of the bar.
Forest Green Rovers, Grimsby Town, Sunday 3:15. It's the Vanarama National League Play-Off Final. BT Sport 1, Saturday the 21st of May, Crystal Palace and Manchester United. BT Sport 2, BT Sport Ultra, the Emirates FA Cup Final. So a minimum of 2 added minutes, and Falkirk have won the free kick.
And they've all gone up, haven't they?
All the tall players in there. Watson, Hippolyte too, and out comes Logan. Got a punch on it. Cummings.
Fair play to Logan there. Good punch, wasn't it?
Opportunity for the Hippolyte. Long throw, special again. In added time at the end of the 90. And Hibs clear the lines. There indeed is the answer to that particular question. Muirhead. Will he launch it again? Well, the instructions come from both benches. Peter Houston trying to organise his troops. Maybe one last assault. It's Will Volks with the throw on this occasion. And would you believe it? Bob McHugh! It had to be him! Super sub extraordinaire! And Falkirk have snatched it with probably the last kick. Hibs will feel it's cruel. Utter delight for Falkirk.
It was just sensational from McHugh. Really is. It's all about the contact. Hip up over the ball. And Hibs aren't coming back from that. It's a long throw into the box. Hibs don't deal with it. McHugh's still got so much to do.
For the Hibs fans, well, it's a miserable experience. Falkirk go marching on in the playoffs. Bob McHugh at the death. A night they will never forget. These Falkirk players and supporters, Peter Houston, James McDonough, punching the air into light. Well, the Hibs players, what must they be going through? For every success story, there's a hard luck story. That's the nature of sport. But Falkirk never stop. Alex Smith there, the technical director, one of the great men of Scottish football, congratulating Peter Houston. Well, it's a sea of navy blue and white, and Falkirk have earned the right to meet Kilmarnock in the two-legged Premiership Play-Off Final. Things looked a bit bleak for them. They had to do this the hard way, coming back from 2-1 down. Well, a beautiful day, a beautiful night, if you're a Bairn. And Bob McHugh popping up right at the end to make it count. Falkirk through, Hibs out of the playoffs. It'll be another season in the Championship for them.
Derek and Chris, thank you very much indeed. Stunning, just absolutely stunning. Heartbreak again for Hibs. Can you believe it in the